What's up, historians? My fucking Wi-Fi's acted up. The squirrels must not be churning in the things here in Maine. We don't have good internet. What's up, Christine Marie? Checking in already. Oh, hold on a minute. I got stuff all popping up. What's up, Christine Marie? You think I've done this before. What's up, guys? Adam the Historian Ghost Hunter, Season 4, Historically Haunted Vodcast, right fucking here live, as it always is. Sponsored again by trucker, actor Donnie Green from Bauer Green Logistics Trucking Company. He drove the red truck in Pet Cemetery that killed a kid. He's a kid killer, right? He killed Gage in Pet Cemetery. Well, he sponsors the show, as well as John Green Logistics Trucking Company, another trucking company. No relation. They do work together. And also, sponsor is of the week is, well, my guest is in charge of them, is the Paracon, P-A-R-A-C-O-N-N, Connecticut's first Paracon. Charles Rosenay, he does a lot of other things. He actually got me my first speaking gig, as you guys know, at the Salem Horror and Paranormal and Horror Convention in Salem, Massachusetts. Look at this ugly guy. I was there. Can you fucking believe it? They let me show up and talk. So shout out to him. I'm going to bring him on very shortly. Co-host Diego, what's up, buddy? One of my clients. Check you out. Got your shirt. Co-host Diego, guys, check him out. Oh, I got Brandon. What's up, Brandon Golding? Thank you for supporting the show like you do every week. Checking in, sending me those stars. Appreciate you. So like always, my friend, we're going to show you guys. I got a video from Sarah French, actress Scarlett Salem, and she just sent me an introduction. So let's check that.
Hey guys, Sarah French here, aka Scarlett Salem, along with my sweet baby Eden the Snake. And you are watching Historically Haunted Vodcast with Adam the Historian Ghost Hunter. Enjoy.
Very cool, man. I tell you, that's a cool chick. I get to meet her actually at one of the conventions back in the day, the Rock and Shock. We've been friends on it. She's been a guest out there in California doing her acting and stuff. So appreciate her being in Blind and everything. Enchantress Samaya Eldereth, what is going on? She's going to be at the Con in Connecticut. So without further ado, let's bring on this guy. He's a fucking, he runs services like trolleys, and he does like DJing, and he runs stuff about the Beatles, and he's into horror, he's into comedy. This fucking guy is all over the place. He goes for like jogs and bike rides in the morning and plays basketball and shit. And this guy's crazy. Charles Rosenay, how do you have the energy, brother?
I don't think I've had quite that kind of intro before, but I love the fact that you have great memories of Rock and Shock, one of my all-time favorite conventions over in Worcester, Mass, where I met Sid Haig and oh man, star after Danny Trejo, star after star. What a great show that used to be.
The Palladium, what a great arena too. Haunted, old school bands have played there.
You combine my two loves, rock and roll and monsters. What could be better?
Nathaniel Elwell's checking in. What's up? Samai, you know her. She's going to be there. She says hello. Connecticut native is going to be at the Paracon here at the end of the month, as well as me and a bunch of people. So before we get into that, man, I want to talk to you real quick. And as you know, I want to thank you for inviting me to be a speaker again, and as well as the first time, giving me a chance. I'd never done this, man. You popped my cherry. I was the virgin. There I am. Yes.
That's it. I'm thinking, am I really bringing this lunatic on stage? And you made me proud. You were great.
Oh, dude. That means a lot to me, Charles.
You know it.
You work with a lot of people, man, and you get no reason. Ghost Diego says, what's going on? Raph Munoz, former wrestler, talk show host. He knows Thomas Patrick. So, man, I want to get started on a question that I never get to ask you, and I want to ask you personally because I've loved this since I was a kid. My mom was absolutely in love with John Lennon. What got you into the Beatles, my brother? Because you love all the rock and roll, you love Ozzy, all that shit, but Beatles is your big one.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I mean, you know, they're the begin all and end all, just like Frankenstein is with my Monster World. Nate, good to see you, buddy. I love what you did with your hair, and you're looking really sharp, buddy. But Beatles, you know, I grew up loving them. My parents, we watched them together on TV and listened to them on AM radio, and they left such a big mark. Growing up, I always say, before I discovered girls, my three loves in life was baseball, the Beatles, and the Monsters. And I always say Monsters first because that's how it started. It started with, you know, the OGs, you know, Boris Karloff, Bela Lugosi, Lon Chaney. in those days we called them monster movies. Now they're of course horror films. But I grew up loving all the old school stuff, and it always stayed with me to the point that when I became an author, what were my first 2 books, right? The book of top 10 Beatle lists,
the top 10s, yeah,
and horror lists. Beatles and horror. That's it for me. And you were so nice. You surprised me at the convention when we met, and you brought me this humongous Beatles poster that was in your family. And you, I guess you had to pry it from your mom's hands, and I appreciate that. That was very special.
You got it, I hope, right? You got it?
Of course, it's actually hung up right in my garage, so I don't go a day without seeing it.
You see them sitting on the lawn, just chilling at some mansion somewhere. Fucking, I have no clue in the background. It's been in my life forever. Mom passed away. I had it. And then when you gave me the opportunity, I said, this guy, I don't have a firstborn to name you after. I can't name my kid. So I'm like, let me give him one of the most prized possessions, because that's what it meant to me, dude. I can't say enough good things about you.
That's awesome. Thank you. We have a mutual admiration society between us and all these people, everyone who's writing in. I love these people. I'm so glad they're part of our
Danny and Lauren. They'll be in. Danny and Lauren,
part of our network.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you're very loyal to people that treat you good. Thomas Patrick Gormley thinks the world of you. What's that? Antibacterial?
Some sanitizer. Yeah.
Cheers. No. I fucking love this guy, Charles Rosenay, dude. Then I go to the Warren Con and go see Annabelle, and there's your DJ in the fucking Warren Con in Mohegan Sun. Yeah, I mean, you just can't get away from Charles Rosenay in Connecticut. You can't.
Well, that's that really special, because you would think that the people who put on the Warren Convention in Connecticut are competitors with the paranormal. We're not. We're friends.
They shared your event. They said we're going to be in Gettysburg. They shared it. Yeah.
They just did. If you're not coming out to Gettysburg, you're from Connecticut, come to the Paracon. They acknowledge this. We were the first, Paracon, and they were huge, but they gave me the honor of DJing their VIP party. So yeah, it's all good symmetry. It's all good vibes. And that's what I've always preached from day one. There's no competitor here. There's no one trying to get the upper leg. Do your events. Everyone share your events. Make it fun. Make it a family.
I love that approach, man. So we have a lot to talk about it, but people tune in and out, and we're right now it's the beginning. We've got about 6 people watching, 7 people watching. Let's talk about the newest, the best. Like, we're not even a month away, right? Let's talk about Stratford. Let's talk about it.
So exciting. So we did it at this Ansonia Armory for years. And people were saying, mostly the vendors, it's too hot, middle of the summer, no air conditioning. So I moved it to May last year, and it wasn't what it was when we had it in the summer. So I got to do it in the summer. Let's find a new location. Thomas P. Gormley and I hit the road. We visited every school, every place, and really, found this one that I think is going to be really great. It's the Baldwin Center in Stratford, Connecticut, next to the old library, next to the cemetery, next to 2 of the most haunted locations in the city. And
I didn't know that.
Perfect. We're changing up the format in that normally I do it in a huge room where there's a stage and all the vendors are in the same room. We're doing it a little different. We have a separate room for the talkers, for the guest speakers, a separate room for the first time ever for a film festival. So that's being curated by Eric Bloomquist, who's put out all these amazing horror movies like Night at the Eagle Inn and Founders Day. And so
Founders Day, yes.
So because I was in those movies, as you know, but people who are part of our convention, if they were on Paranormal Caught on Camera, if they were on Ghost Hunters, and they have their clips, their show, we'll show that. That'll be part of the film festival. And then there's another aspect of everything is actually going to this every hour on the hour, a walking tour, which is actually hosted by one of the guys who used to work for me as an actor in my haunted attraction. And he's going to take them to the cemetery, to the 2 haunted places, and he's going to tell the history of why this cemetery is so special. And that's literally, let's say there's 500 people at the convention, only 10 or so are going to get to go at noon, at 1, at 2, at 3, at 4, every hour to this, you know.
Well, that way they don't miss the convention. They can go and not they all miss it at once. I get you. That's smart.
Exactly. They could leave
Oh,
and come right back. Yeah. He's the man. Him and Lauren are mainstays in everything we do. We just love them so much, and they not only set up their amazing wares and oddities and amazing, you know, collectibles and go on and on, but they also are, you know, guest speakers. They also do amazing presentations. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Danny's very thorough, very knowledgeable for the macabre. You know, the people love serial killer shit. You know what I mean? Are you into serial killer type shit? I mean,
not as much as my partner in the Shaman and Showman,
yeah.
Mr. Gormley. You know, lives and breathes the serial killer stuff. But it's really funny because just recently I put on. Hi George. We put on. I don't know what it was. Some comic book, some horror book. I put on Facebook Marketplace. And Mr. Perez writes, "Hey, Charles, I got 6,000 comics. I want some of your horror comics." I had no idea he collected those too. And I'm decluttering. So I think him and I are going to do some comic book swap in there.
You see how things are bonded? Rock, horror. I mean, it kind of all goes together. It's kind of the umbrella, I feel like. So wow, what a small world.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool, man. Yeah. That's these so good people.
Yeah. As we were saying, it's a Saturday and it's a Sunday, July 20th and 21st. That's 11 to 6. People can do a VIP ticket, come in an hour earlier, get front row seats, preferred parking, you know, all that good stuff if they want. So that's an option. We have a 2-day deal if they want to come 2 days, more reasonable. And I just think it's going to be pure fun. I want to hopefully be at the door most of the time so I can greet people. You know, most of the time in the past, I've been on stage emceeing, but we got our buddy, you know, Roser doing that. We got Thomas Gormley. We got a lot of people who can handle that. Someone coming on. I see a little shift in action here.
No, I want to bring on the page so people can get the tickets to scan it.
Oh, great. Oh, appreciate that. Yeah. Right, and the website is www.paracon with 2 N's.org. Why is it Paracon? Because it's the Paranormal Convention of CONN of Connecticut. Look at that. Great artwork, great graphics by Melissa Sarfine, however the hell she pronounces her name. Chaotic Goods does just unbelievably great graphics. Don't tell me you're on there too. Oh, I see.
Look at my friends, though, dude. Kenneth Drake, medium Kenneth Drake. I got to his event in Quincy before. Larissa Rex, good people. Charles Johnson, demonologist.
Carl.
We got Mr. Haunted himself from Nesper. Jimmy, Scott Allen, the Boston Medium. Oh my God, Danny and Lauren. You, the Shaman and the Showman. So many people.
So
what an event.
Adam, what's so exciting to me is getting Andy Andrews kind of out of retirement. The man was the original Ghost Hunters. Then he helmed Ghost Hunters International. Never been at a Comic-Con, never been at a Horror-Con, never been at a Paracon. It's his first appearance.
Never been?
No, never been a guest before. So this is that's a real exclusive. Now, a bunch of people have never been at my Paracon before, but have been at other shows. But our top line guests, first time ever at Paracons. Very exciting. We're scrolling.
Just type in.
Look at that.
Just type in Paracon. CONN. Con for like convention. Con for Connecticut. CONN short for Connecticut.
Yes. Amazing.
Mr. Haunted.
Oh, did he hear us mention him? He must. That's his psychic
his
ability.
Burning.
His psychic ability. We mention his name and he pops right on. Unbelievable. Talk about Mr. Haunted.
Charles, man, you're doing great stuff. I want to talk a little bit, not to get off subject, but I want to talk about the trolley. That seems really fun to me. This haunted trolley tour thing. You running that again this year?
I am. So for many years I ran this indoor haunted Halloween attraction called Fright Haven. Very exciting, very successful. COVID comes around. I'm not ready to open it, sell it, and then I'm itching to do something again. I'm going crazy. What do I do for Halloween? Well, yeah, I got conventions. Yeah, I got my Dracula tour, but I want to be there. I want to be scaring people. I want to be acting out. So we took over this it's the Shoreline Trolley Museum, which is the real deal. It's an ancient trolley that runs, for kids, for Christmas, for sightseeing, 20 minutes out, 20 minutes back. I said, let's do something on board. Let me make it special. First year, we did online, on board, kind of a paranormal seance experience with a scrying session and all that, along with ghost stories, me telling stories. And you know about my ghost stories, of course. And then last year we changed it completely. We metamorphosed it to something very different. What did we do? We did Murder on the Trolley Express, or whatever the hell we called it. But we did a whole murder mystery on board. And that was so well received. We're really thinking of doing the similar thing, but a little different. We're doing a few more curves. We're going to let the people in the crowd, the people who are riding the trolley, guess who the actual killer is. And it's not that guy over there with the conductor hat. That's me as the killer conductor. But the first year,
like you a little bit. I love the makeup done. Of course,
yeah, it's me. It's me. And I had just have fun with everything.
I love that stuff. It's like Clue. It's like a murder mystery, like Clue. Yeah,
exactly. And you know what? Everything I do, whether it's the tours to Transylvania, the books, the conventions, the trolley, I put myself in, like, I am Adam. I am the person coming to this event. What do I like? What would I want? How would it be fun to me? And I always put myself in the patron's brain, in the consumer's brain, in the visitor's brain. And I know what I love, they're going to love. And I try to give them the best of that experience. And it's worked. People have so much fun that way. You met Adam at which first Paracon? Which one? The Salem one, probably, huh?
Oh, the first WarrenCon I went to, Connecticut, with Heather, and
right.
Salem one, she probably meant, because I went to that. I can't. My Wi-Fi's being slow.
Yes. Hi, Christine.
And Nate's a big fan of you. Your stuff is amazing. It's your knowledge of things, dude. Like you said, everything from Transylvania to Connecticut to music to just. I gotta tell you something. Maybe you do know. Maybe you've been. Did you know New Hampshire, Claude Rains is buried? The Invisible Man. I've been to his grave, Moultonborough.
Claude Rains was the Invisible Man. Then Flesh Gordon. Yes. You know the song? Rocky.
Yes, it's about him, but his grave. It's a black bullet-shaped grave in Moultonborough. I went all the way there just to see his grave like 2 years ago.
So you see behind me, we have Frankenstein, the Wolfman. We have another Frankie. We have Dracula. We also have the Invisible Man behind me. You just can't see him.
It's him without his bandages, right?
Sorry,
fucking A, man. Oh, I tell you. My buddy Scott was a big fan of the Creature from the Black Lagoon. He's got a tattoo of him.
Love it.
That's a good one.
During COVID, we did a drive-in movie series at a park not far from me, and that was on our schedule for the first show. That was like, we have to show Creature from the Black Lagoon on the big screen, and it sold out. It was so amazing. I love Universal Monsters. I mean, I grew up, famous monsters of Filmland. That was my baby. I loved getting that magazine and subscribing to it. I used to build all the famous monsters of Filmland models, all the Aurora models. Love that stuff, and never missed a movie. And that hasn't changed. I mean, I grew up watching, Christopher Lee and all this, all the science fiction stuff from the 60s and 70s, right on through The Exorcist and The Shining and Rosemary's Baby, you name it. But this week I went with my kids to see the new, that would be amazing. I went with my kids to see the new Quiet Place. I don't miss films. Watchers, I saw the new Strangers. You name it. I love going to the stuff, and I try to catch every horror flick that comes out. And once in a while, I get to be in one. What got Charles into loving monster movies so much? Oh, I tell this all the time.
That's valid.
It was Mom.
Just grow up with it. You grew up with it, right? Kind of like the Beatles, I think.
Mom. She, as much as she loved You know, the Beatles, like your mom, you know, may her memory be a blessing. My mom also, you know, passed in 2000, but she instilled that in me. She sat me down and said, we're going to watch a Frankenstein movie. And I was afraid of it. And it took me a few days to get into it. But once I fell in love with the first one was Bride of Frankenstein. Once I fell in love with it, man, we would go to that TV guide all the time and say, oh, what's coming up? Oh, really? The Mummy's Hand? Gotta watch it. Dracula has risen from the grave. Gotta watch it. A Creature Walks Among Us. You name it. If it was playing, no matter what.
The 50-foot woman or whatever.
The 50-foot woman was part of Chiller Theater. That was a must. The Amazing Colossal Beast.
Oh, my mom was into creature feature. She got me into all that shit. She loved Alice Cooper because he was like a horror movie on stage, and I grew up with all, just like you, Charles. I mean, I tell you, people are chiming in all their favorites. Nosferatu, 22 silent film, first vampire.
I can't wait for the remake. I'm gonna tell you my Alice Cooper story. I was a kid, and I went to see him at the New Haven Arena. It doesn't exist. And the guillotine is on stage, and it's like, oh man, this is everything I want: horror and rock and roll combined. And I'm moving closer because security didn't count in those days. This was an old hockey arena, to the point where I'm sitting on the side of the stage, Adam, next to the drummer, who I became Neil Smith, who I became friends with years later. He's drumming like a maniac. Phew! A stick flies to me along with his ring. His ring flies off. I hand him back the ring and the stick. He goes, keep the stick, and he goes back to playing right on stage.
What? That's a fucking killer memory.
Never told that story on any podcast.
I'm your first. Awesome, Charles. I wanted to be lax. I want to talk business, but I want to get to know you, brother. I want to know you more than a businessman, which you're a great businessman, but I consider you a friend. Like it or not, man, you gave me my first speaking gig. So for that, I'm fucking hooked to you for life. I got your back. I'll kill someone for you. So
you know what I said when I listed you as a guest? I put one of my favorite people on this planet and any other planet. You know, Jimmy might be second. You know, Mr. Nathaniel might be third, but dude, you're right up there. Thomas Gormley's on the bottom. He's like,
oh, my cat. Oh, look at him. Lawrence on Zombie and Cooper. That's a fucking Halloween show.
First concert ever last year?
What?
How's that possible?
I'm at like 140, man. I've seen the Ramones. Oh, man.
I saw let me tell you my Ramones story. Wait, I got to tell you my
dude. Go ahead. Yes.
I'm in college radio, playing all the punk stuff, loving the Ramones, loving all these acts. And I get backstage at one of their earliest concerts at a place called Toad's Place in New Haven. And I'm looking at these guys and I'm like afraid to talk to them. But Joey is like, come on. He's talking to his manager. I don't want this shredded wheat. I don't want vegetables. Bring me some pizza. We're in New Haven. I want pizza. Well, guy, that came out in the movie Rock and Roll High School. Literally, that scene is in the movie, and it was true. They were begging for junk food and pizza, and they were being given healthy stuff by the promoters and their management, and they hated it. And that's my memory of backstage with the Ramones.
Shut the front door, dude. No kidding.
Yeah.
That's fucking wild. Is that in any of your book of yours? Or it should be.
No, I got to do a separate book just on like my memories, my entertainment memories and stuff.
When I come up to Connecticut, I'm getting copies of your books when I see you. I want to look up. I don't have any, and that's bullshit. I need some, so I'm gonna buy some.
Are we talking about like this book, the book of top 10 horror lists, and the book of top 10 Beatle lists, or are we talking about true ghost stories of Connecticut? Woo!
Dude, monster movies, ghost, fucking rock and roll, dude. You're like the perfect man, dude. I mean, you're like my idol. I'm not even gay, and I worship you.
Yeah.
All right. So speaking of gay, real quick. Just kidding. I love him. He's a fucking weirdo, though. I tell you, he's a glorious fucking weirdo. What's up, brother?
Yeah. I am moving up from the bottom of the list.
Oh wait, you didn't hear that, did
Oh, you heard what Charles said 5 seconds ago?
Yeah, I was listening on the way home, but I couldn't chime in, So
Tell
Nathan Elwell, my boy.
Oh wow,
George
remembers Toad's Place. He's from Connecticut. I've never heard of fucking Toad's Place.
TPG.
Oh yeah, by the way, guys, Thomas is kind of a secret guest. He jumped on.
Tell Mr. Adam how we met. What was our first talking together?
Oh my God. Well, originally we met, but we really didn't kind of remember and all that. I think our official professional meetup was at Two Roads.
Oh right.
We were doing a psychic fair there, and yes. I came, and then Charles looks at me, and I look at him, and Charles says, "I don't like you," and I said, "Well, I don't like you either." And that was our first words to each other, and we laughed at each other, knowing that.
And then I call him.
We got our sarcasm.
I call him literally the next day and say, "Hey, I'm doing a shaman and the showman thing at a library. You want to join me?" And it was in the beginning, before we actually partnered up officially. I did one with the peers, Christine and Daniel. I did one, more than one, a bunch with what's her name, Lori something,
or Linda Lori Salerno.
Lori Salerno. I didn't want to call her Linda.
Okay,
and Wanted, who we love. And then he's just taken over. Every event I do, every library, every Paracon, we're side by side as the Shaman and the Showman LLC.
I tell you, man, and I'm not bullshitting you, not only because Thomas is my client and Charles has given me my fucking opportunity of a lifetime, and I have no reason to kiss either of your asses, but I'm gonna, because out of everybody in this field, it's the same old boogity bullshit, and you guys bring something to the table. Thomas has got plethora of knowledge of, I don't want to say useless facts, but these odd questions, like what did this stem from? In Connecticut, weird facts, serial killer facts, shit it's very intriguing. It's fucking very wow. And then you got Charles over there with his rock and roll and his fucking old school horror movies. You guys bring a lot of knowledge to the table. You're not just spectators. I think you guys are both teachers in your own right. That's what makes it. And not that we're better than anyone, but I think you and Thomas together, dude.
Yeah.
Promotion machine. Thomas is a promotion machine. He's a fucking knowledge machine, and he's behind everything. He's behind 100%. Otherwise, you wouldn't back it. This guy's got my back. I'd fucking kill for Thomas or die for him if I had to. Same thing with Charles, man. And I know it's mutual. When I walked to Mohegan Sun before I saw Charles, I see Thomas. He goes, "Let's go to the bar and get a drink." And hey, down the rabbit hole again. And then we go get drunk by Annabelle. Charles is spitting fucking DJ shit. And I go, "This is killer." Charles Rosenay, Thomas Patrick Gormley, bunch of good people. You guys keep going back for this, and you don't have to. What keeps you guys heart in this? Charles, I'll start with you. Your passion, right? It's not work, right?
I love it. I love it, and I can't get enough of it. If it was up to me, I'd be doing a library appearance, a DJ appearance, a convention appearance every night of the week. It's just amazing. Yes, of course, you got it. I hope you can't wait to see the pictures.
The thing is, you're good to people. I think good lets good in, and of course, every once in a while, a dickhead's going to slip in, or an asshole, or a bitch, or whatever. But for the most part, we kind of understand. We filter through. And man, you have great people at your event. There was no problems at Salem State University, right? This year we're in Salem, guys. Not to get ahead of Connecticut. That's in 3.5 weeks. But Salem, in the middle of Salem at Salem State University, we're going to be there again, man, for the Salem Paracon. So
and we're nuts because we've always done it in November. But now we're jumping into the center of the Dead zombie world. We are the center of Hocus
Triple
Pocus.
the people. Triple.
October 19th and 20th, the heart of the Halloween season. We're going to be right at Salem State University for salemparacon.org. And it's going to be just the greatest show ever, because that's also a horror convention. That ain't just paranormal. The Connecticut show really skews towards mostly paranormal, the Paracon here in Connecticut. But the Salem one, it was missing. Salem didn't have that world-class horror and paranormal show, and we just filled a void, and it's going to be bigger and better. I mean, when I see, I don't want to announce it yet because we'll come on again, but when you see the guests we're pulling in, it's going to be unbelievable.
Remember last year, the guy from Jason Voorhees was there. Cannonball Run was there. The chick, fucking, there it is.
Yes.
Yay.
There it is.
That's it. Over 19th
Stay tuned.
and 20th.
We're a little bit away, but October's really not. It's about 4 or 5 months away. So obviously we'll get Connecticut. I know there's the witchcraft, all that stuff, but I think this is going to be, this is going to be a big one, boys. I like this. I can't wait to be a part of it and fucking.
Well,
so Charles, I wanted to ask you, because I haven't really had a chance to talk with you, and I've talked to Thomas about 900 times, which I love, but I've never really talked to you on this level. And I want to ask you, what's your bucket list, dude? So, Charles, where haven't you been in America? And give me one for like Europe. Would you like to go to where the Beatles were born and raised? Cheers, Charles. Cheers, Thomas.
So Liverpool, where the Beatles were born and raised. I bring fellow fans there every summer. We've been doing that, believe it or not, 40 years, going to London and Liverpool. We call it the Magical History Tour. And that's sort of the companion trip.
I love that.
It's the companion trip to the Dracula Tour to Transylvania. I'm doing that 26 years. So if you're into the horror stuff, you love the vampires, you love the spooky stuff, you take a tour of terror with me and www.dractours.com. If you love the rock and roll, you want to go on a Beatles tour, www.liverpooltours.com. Those were my dream places. My bucket list came early for me and came over and over and over because, I never thought growing up as a kid and dreaming about these places, seeing them in movies, hearing about them in songs, reading about them in books and in postcards. I never in a million years would have thought I would ever go to these places, let alone host other people who come with me. And we have the greatest time. Bucket list forever was New Orleans. Did a ghost tour there. Did ghost tour to, you ready for this, guys? Ireland, Scotland, Romania, Hungary, Israel, Cuba, Eastern Germany. We did a Frankenstein tour to Frankenstein's castle. Prague, Czech Republic. I'm probably forgetting some, but yeah, all the places that in my brain were must go to haunted places. Been there. I would love to do a ghost tour to France. I'd love to do a ghost tour to Italy and to Egypt. Those are
Italy. You say, baby, I'm Italian. Give me an Italy one. I'm Italian. Give me Rome or yeah.
What is it? Dude, Pavalia Island in Italy.
The vampire island. They buried people with bricks in their mouths because they thought they were vampires and shit.
Well, the Pavalia is where they put all the people that had disease and all that, and they had the big mask that looked like a big bird mask and all that.
I was in Japan 7 times and actually lived there for half a year, and we never went there. Right, I didn't know about it at the time. Yeah, so I never made that way. It's also very far from Tokyo anyway. Mm-hmm. But yeah,
you got more miles on you, Charles, than Dolly Parton's dildo. Holy
shit. No!
Fucking goddamn you! Where haven't you? Have you been in New Zealand, Antarctica? Where haven't you been, Charles?
No, I haven't. That's next week.
Thomas, dude, man, you guys are a fucking hoot. So we got a half hour to go. You guys get any questions for these two cats? Go ahead and drop it. Thomas, you play host for a minute. Ask either of us some questions. You got some knowledge. I gotta grab a beer. Ask Charles some questions. I'll be right back.
I already know everything about you guys. So Charles.
Yes, sir.
We talk all the time. What the heck am I gonna ask you? So
we talk all the time.
Yeah.
I got a few projects that I don't want to share publicly, but I'm going to surprise you with.
I know.
And I don't know what else. I'm just so psyched that we got this convention coming up.
Yeah. But wait, I don't want to jump over the Paracon. That's going to be fantastic. But the Salem Paracon, I know you can't say anything yet, but we were talking about a certain horror movie that we might get people. Is that getting closer, or is that something we're renegotiating with something else?
Let's just say that we're celebrating the 50th anniversary of the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre film, and that's all we're gonna say. But
stay tuned. Follow the Facebook page. Follow them on Facebook, right? Follow, right, Charles? You guys drop new people every day for the Connecticut one. So follow NatCon, NATC. Or wait, I'm sorry. Where can we follow you on Facebook, guys? Both of you.
Yeah. Yeah, Nat, N-A-T, Rock, ROCK-CON. It's short for National Rock Convention. Nat Rock Con is a great Facebook page to see. But going down the list, just so people know, coming up July 20th, 21st, we can't say it enough, Paracon with 2 N's. The week after that, believe it or not, we have a Psychic Fair Fest. It's the Connecticut Summer Psychic Fair Fest in Dudleytown Brewery in Windsor, Connecticut. So as if July wasn't already filled with the RockCon, we're throwing in a great psychic fair the weekend after that. Hi, Kathy Nadal. I'm going to be on her show tomorrow. That's airing. Also in August, for the first time in history, it's the Connecticut Witch Trials Festival taking place in Hartford, Connecticut. Oh, look at those 2 beautiful guys.
Oh my God, I think I threw up a little on my mouth.
Filter.
Half hour to make, man. I think probably. I'm listening. Sorry, I'm just showing shit.
It's August 10th and 11th in
Hey.
historic Pratt Street, downtown Hartford, Connecticut. Why did we pick Hartford, Mr. Thomas Gormley? Why did we pick Hartford?
Well, Hartford is one of the first 3 cities in our country in where the old state houses used to be a field. And in that field was where the court's majority hung the people that were accused of witchcraft. So there's a lot of energy with that. And that's why I think one of the most haunted places in Hartford is the old state house.
Yeah. Well, in 2023, just a year ago, the witches from Connecticut were finally legally, I don't know if the word's absolved or exonerated. And so this is kind of a celebration of their legacy for their descendants. We're putting it on, for mine. We're trying to do the best of all worlds. It's not easy because if it's up to current witches, they just want it to be about that. If it's up to the descendants and the people who respect the history, they want it to be about that. We're hoping that we're going to do it respectfully enough so that it appeals to everyone. But that's kind of the big 4 so far. We're adding a few special things that we haven't announced yet. But it's Paracon, followed by the Connecticut Summer Psychic Fair Fest, followed by less than a month later in August, the Connecticut Witch Trials Festival, which is www.witchtrialsfest.org. And then, of course, Salem is the monster. So it's like nonstop amazing events.
You own New England, man. You really own New England when it comes down to it. Nothing against Tony and none of them, because there's all like a plain room to go around. But you got a lot of shit covered.
Plenty to go around. We never have competition with anybody.
We don't own anything. We don't monopolize everything. There's enough room for everyone to do great and have a great time. And if someone else is having a show, people go to those too. Vendors set up, fans attend. It's not like there's 50 of them. If there's a handful, we want to support everybody.
Also too, not to cut you off, but also too, with all these events, you're going to have different people. It's not going to be the same 20 people you're going to have. You'll have some people that are coming back. Like I'll be probably at both of them, but for the most part, you're going to have new people that are in the area, new stars. So it's something new to see, new area, new stuff to cover. Dudleytown, that's cool. Isn't that where the melon heads are? Those fucking Connecticut.
No.
Where else? But Dudleytown is.
I read on that.
Yeah, no. Good job, because Melonheads and Dudleytown are 2 of the first brain goes when you think of haunted places in Connecticut and haunted, associates. And the Melonheads have a few locations where they're best associated.
Dracula Drive, baby.
Dracula Drive is the main one, but Dudleytown, very haunted, cursed land, and this brewery literally is in Windsor, which was one of the other places where the witches were, tortured and burned and killed and executed. But this place is named after Dudleytown. It's not in Dudleytown. It's the Dudleytown Brewery in Windsor.
Charles, I got something I got something for you guys that I just found out recently.
Yeah.
That the people that own the Dudleytown Brewery.
Yeah.
One of them, her sister, and I used to date in high school.
What?
and we keep in contact on Facebook. And she says, "Oh my God, I saw your event because we posted it recently." She says, "My sister is one of the partners for up there. I think her name is Gina. I think she said."
Oh, that's great.
And Gina wants to know everything, because I know you were there. She wants to know everything that you experienced at Dudleytown for real.
Oh, I will tell her.
Yeah. And I got to take pictures, of course, and send them to my friend there. So, yeah.
Or she can read about them in this collection of stories known as...
Hold on a minute. Hold that up, Charles. 1 second.
True Ghost Stories of Connecticut. Written by Charles F. Rosenay with a foreword by the amazing Kreskin. Available on Amazon or from www.paranormalconnecticut.com. It's the True Ghost Stories of Connecticut. And I will be signing copies of these at every single event we've been talking about. At Paracon, at the Connecticut Summer Psychic Fair Fest, at the Connecticut Witch Trial Festival, and at Salem Paranormal and Horror Convention. Damn, that's impressive. Is it just me? I thought for a second I was just taking over, that I was going to do the rest of the show.
No, I want to give you a spotlight, man, because it's fucking, I want people to see it, so I wanted to give you your time. You're great with that fucking smile, dude. You could sell ice cream to an Eskimo, I tell you. So I think that's cool. Plus, it's not like you're a fucking snake oil salesman. You're pretty legit with your shit, with all your shit. I know, because I've been to you. You throw in a hell of a time. You treat everyone great. You were so kind to all the vendors. They're walking around. You spend your time talking to the guest. And that was just a Salem con, so I can't imagine. So hats off to you. Thomas, dude, you've been a treat since I've known you. We still got about 20 minutes left, so I want to just kind of shoot the shit here. Sure. Charles, I'm going to ask you a question you've probably never been asked. What do you like to chew on when you've done an event or you're excited or someone's named their kid after you or you created world peace again? What do you like to eat? Big steak? You can bridge us with North Korea. I know you could.
World peace with Charles Rosenay. World peace with Charles.
Dude, listen to the Beatles, watch Frankenstein, listen to the Beatles, and smoke a joint with Adam and chill out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a simple.
I'm just drinking my Purell, guys. That's it.
I'm like, is that hand sanitizer?
Right.
No,
you
I'm
crazy fucking guy.
No, I literally live.
Gigi Allen.
I drink. Gigi Allen.
Yeah.
I'm, people know that I don't imbibe
his
a
grave.
lot. I don't, indulge in some of the things that, my colleagues do. For me, it's a Snapple. It's simple, it's salads for breakfast. It's, I don't know, lunch is usually bad news. It's usually fried stuff. Dinner, whatever my wife makes is going to be delicious, whether it's chicken or steak or whatever she makes is going to be amazing. And then I got to finish my meal with a pretzel and a piece of chocolate, because no matter how full I am, I need that salt and sugar. Yeah. There you go. Oh, those are great.
Oh my God, I like the buffalo.
$1.25? Get the fuck out of here. Of course I'll buy that. 1980 prices? Come on. Plus it's good when you're drinking pretzels.
It's funny when Charles and I are together and it's not an event. It's us usually getting ice cream somewhere.
Ice cream, yes.
Oh. Dude, I tell you, man.
Dairy Queen we can't find.
Dude, I tell you, Charles, like even Thomas is off doing TV shows for people and shit, and he's joining these paranormal teams with Boston medium Scott Allen, who's going to be there, guys, with Kenneth Drake. And I was with him in Quincy, Mass, dude. We get a shot at the bar with fucking Whitey Bulger's niece, the murderer, Whitey Bulger. Yeah, Johnny Depp played him. Amazing. Holy fuck, she was the waitress she was the bartender at Quincy, Massachusetts. I got to see the first Dunkin' Donuts in America, John Quincy Adams' grave. Yes. You know me, I had to check it all out, man. Have you been to Maine, Charles? That was my next question for you. You been up to my way?
I don't, I probably passed through it on my way to the other side of the world, but no, I don't think I've been to Maine. I think I was in. That
should be his bucket list then. A tour with Adam. All the horror movies.
I will go if you host me on all the Stephen King sites.
I'll give you a historically haunted tour like I did Danny. I'll show you where the inspiration. You like Stephen King? That was my next question because I got a boner right now. You like Stephen King?
So a few minutes ago, I mentioned that I lived in Japan, right? I brought with me clothing.
Danny.
I brought with me clothing, snacks, and 7 Stephen King books with me because I didn't think that living at home I would ever get to The Stand or It. And I went through The Stand. I went through It. I went through my
It's like 3,000 pages.
I brought them with me to read in Japan when I was at, middle of the night, nothing to do. I thought that of all of them, you won't believe my favorite book. Now I'm looking up by films now. My favorite book, Dead Zone. Ooh,
decent movie, really? Oh, look at you! You really the Dead Zone. I haven't read it yet. I got it. It's got the clock on the cover, right?
Yeah, I think not my original first pressing, but I'm sure somebody had a clock on the cover. I got to see Stephen
really
King.
Done that.
I got to see him live.
Did you watch the movie after? Did you compare it to the book? The movie to the book?
I thought the book was far superior, and in most cases, I always feel that way. Carrie was an exception. There's some exceptions to the rule. I love Pet Sematary as much as I love the book, but I'm a Richard. I went through Thinner. I went through all the short stories and all his Richard Bachman, all his other stuff. So you're talking to someone that we never discussed. There's 3 authors that I will still live by, and it's in
Thomas Patrick would say Edgar Allan Poe. Got to be Edgar Allan Poe, like Thomas's favorite. Got to be the Poe.
Stephen King, Dean Koontz, and you've never heard of the third one, Dan Simmons. Those 3 are the horror meisters of modern day literature, and I will read them over anybody. Poe, obviously. Mary
Shelley. AOTZ. Yeah.
Great stuff.
Danny, I fucking love you. Taking 2 tours. Danny took the Thinner tour, and we went to Hancock where Donnie killed Miko, and Danny laid in the road, and that was cool. Yes, Coots is the shit. Great call. Yeah. Lauren Heskey, what's up? Lillian.
Lauren Hellickson, yes. Creative. Lauren has the best equipment. She is one of the most knowledgeable people in the paranormal. She was at Salem Paracon last year as a vendor.
That's where I met her.
And I tell you that she has the right vision, and I don't know. I got to be proud about people in the paranormal. You know me. I'm involved in the paranormal still. You asked the question earlier. The reason what keeps me going is people like Lauren, people that are thinking outside the box and trying to get things forward and learning more about the paranormal. That's why Charles and I, we do these events. We want people to see different views and have a good time, but get those different views.
It's a mixed bag, dude.
Stuff over and over again. It's always different. You're never going to get the same thing.
You get tarot card readers, podcasters, horror movie people, musicians. You got the great Kresge there pulling rabbits out of hats. Danny Bell had a boner. He signed his old. No,
Kreskin wasn't pulling rabbits out of the hat. He was trying to find stuff that our favorite person here, Charles,
only fucking Rosenay
did on him and didn't tell him. The guy almost had a stroke because
you guys don't know. That was Kreskin's last appearance, guys.
Yep.
He hung it up because
Yeah.
So
he's hanging it up.
So what happens is every gig he's done for 100 years, the producer hides the check. He psychically finds the check and he gets paid. And if he doesn't find the check, he doesn't get paid. Well, he's never not found the check. But at my convention in Salem,
oh no!
That morning, I took his check, I folded it up into crinkly little piece. I took apart an old phone that wasn't working, put it in the phone, left the phone in the room. Right? It was the Salem State University's phone, and then he came in and he didn't know that I hid it. So he gives everybody. Right, Lauren? So he gives everybody this opportunity to hide his gold clock. He had a gold clock.
Yes, I remember that.
And he leaves the room. He makes me follow him. And I said, I already hid the check. And he's zoning out because he's in his brainwave. And now I'm thinking, well, maybe
really
he wants to use this gold watch because maybe he has a gold Geiger counter in his brain that somehow magnetizes over. I always try to think of the scientific thing that doesn't make sense. But
You're
anyway,
the Egon Spengler of the group, of course.
he is going through that room, guys. And literally where he finds something within 5-10 minutes, 20 minutes, he is 100 years old, climbing on chairs, climbing on tables, but he kept going back. He kept going back to that part. He kept going back to the area near that phone. And he would say, no, something's wrong. Something's wrong. And he actually says a speech that, guys, I'm ready to quit. This has never happened. I'm ready to give up. I don't think that I can continue on. At which point I say, well, Kreskin, I hid the check. And he freaks out. He has this, well, that's probably why, at which point he finds them both. He goes right to the phone and, pulls out guys, he hasn't been well since then. I hate to say it. He has not
Charles,
been well.
you dewired him. You dewired him.
God.
Charles made him retire. Charles retired him.
No.
All his fault.
Well, look at the bright side.
Yeah.
We got to see his final appearance.
And you kind of sparked mine. You sparked my first, so in a way, it's rebirth. Yeah. You didn't lose a soul. You lose one, but you gain one.
No, but I'll tell you, that experience with the amazing Kreskin and knowing all these years, yes, Charles broke him, Lauren. But the thing is we're going to have that memory no matter what. We're going to go into history knowing that how amazing this guy was he was picking up on something he didn't know was there. His mind was on this gold clock.
Yes.
And Charles hit this check, and he didn't know, but he kept going to that check. That's what makes it so amazing, because he was picking up on it no matter what. He was picking up on two things, which made him confused, but he knew where both of them was. And when we came to the conclusion, he found them both because he understood now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's this story will be of legends because the people who were in that room, he didn't do a lot of his parlor tricks. I've seen him where he'll bring someone up to the audience and they'll only ask for someone who's got a pocket full of change. Yeah. And he'll tell them to shake the change in their pocket. And then sometimes he'll say, okay, put it in one hand, put it back in your pocket. And he goes, $1.86. And they go, what? He goes, count your change. And guys, he never would get it wrong. To the penny, he would know what the change was. How does he do? I don't get it. I don't know. I'll never.
That's fucking impressive. That's very impressive.
And he didn't do that at that one because I really think that because he almost fell over a few times.
Well, he can't be age. Your body, your bones. You can't. Yeah.
There was a couple times I got out. There was a couple times I got out of my chair like I was going to have to catch him and stuff.
Catch him!
Oh my God!
Remember, you were there like just in case he really.
Like Charles, we're not insured for the great Kreskin falling.
As you know, he wrote the foreword for my book, Ghost Stories of Connecticut. And the reason I asked him was really because he gave me a great chapter in the book of top 10 horror lists, where celebrities all give me their favorite, top 10 lists. This book came out during COVID. It's the first book I wrote. 100 celebrities right there gave their top 10 favorite themes. That's me on the back in my Crypt Master Chucky persona, which you guys don't get to see often. But in this book, there's lists from a Beatle, from a Karloff, from William Shatner, from one of the Monkees, from one of the Munsters, from all these horror people, from baseball Hall of Famers, rock and roll Hall of Famers. They all gave me their top 10 favorite lists. And Kreskin gave me a great list too. And so when he did that, I thought, well, I'll go back to the well and I'll ask him, would you please give me a foreword to my book? And he's very complimentary and he's very nice. But he said, can I also tell my unexplained supernatural story? Now, mind you, the criteria of the book True Ghost Stories of Connecticut is that it has to be true and it has to have something to do with Connecticut. His story did not. his story was about his homeland of New Jersey, but I felt that it had to be in the book because it was such an amazing story. And the fact that, he shared that with us, that he gave me the forward for the book, that he came to my conventions. Warren Paracon had him as well up in Mohegan Sun, and they said, can we get him? How do we get in touch with him? I told him how, and he was a guest there as well. And just happy that, after 60 years of being on the Johnny Carson show and in books and in every kind of media, I mean, the man is a legend.
Johnny.
That we were able to finally, get him to come to some conventions in his latter years and be a very special part of it.
Yeah.
Dude, I love your excitement and your passion. You don't just talk like a businessman, like, well, yeah, he's going to sign money. I'm going to get – you're literally a fan first, right? Am I wrong, Charles? You're a fan first.
Yeah, it's all – my energy is that I love what I do, and the passion comes out. And, we got the shaman, we got the showman. He has no personality. He tells it.
He's a serial killer at heart. That's why he admires these fuckers, because he gets 20 bodies in his basement. He's got 20 bodies down there. He's trying to figure out how to.
No.
I'm doing the Gacy, and I'm just burying everybody under the house.
He keeps me very grounded because he's so much more knowledgeable than I am. And when
he's yin to your yang, I think.
He's my yin to my yang. Thank you. He's definitely the swing to my schlong. And when him and I do events,
give me some of that hand sanitizer. I want some of that shit. It's feeling good. Yeah, hey, Charles, we got about 5-10 minutes to go. I know you wanted to make it an hour. I'll talk to Thomas a little bit longer if you don't mind. But real quick before we go, I want to ask you. I usually ask my guests, you have a question for me? I want you to play host, Charles. Ask me and Thomas a question in any order you want.
Yeah, so I know a lot about Tom, but I want to ask him, if he had to choose, like if someone said, all right, listen up, the rest of your convention career and everything you do has to be either paranormal or it has to be the true crimes and the serial killers, and you had to pick one of those genres over the other, where would you go?
Oh,
good question. Serial killer, gotta be serial.
I'm going to put it this way. I have to go with the original. I started paranormal back when I was a teenager. The serial killer stuff didn't happen till after. Like maybe, I think when I was 18, I really jumped into it a lot. And then having a career, profiling, just working with inmates in a psychiatric prison, to profile them or figure that stuff out. I loved it. But when it really comes down to it, I think for me, it's more important for me to be involved in the paranormal at this point, because I think I really firmly believe there's a direction that we need to take. And it hasn't happened in a long time. And I think after my mom died, after COVID, those types of things, I think spirit really came to me that it's important for me to be a teacher. And that's why I'm so grateful that Charles and I work together, because I am a teacher on all of our events. I teach people the right way and not the stuff that's on TV, the fake stuff. That's why I'm involved with shows like Dark Echoes, where it's not fake. It's if something doesn't happen, the show still goes on the air. We want people to see the real stuff.
Well, you're trying to help.
That's very important.
That's the difference.
But that's what I do.
You're looking for ratings. You're looking to help people. That's the difference.
No, it doesn't matter for me. It doesn't matter. I don't look at the accolades or anything like that. I think it's very important that when it comes down to it in the simplest form, you need to help the living and the dead. That's it. The living and the dead, how you have to do it. And Charles knows, and I think us, when we got together, I think his mind has changed quite a bit and how I deliver things and how I've talked about things. And he's witnessed it, where when I get in the spirit, especially at an event, and you have patrons there that are in tears and all that. And that's important because they need to know that this is real and this isn't phony, and I'm there for them and I want to help them. And, even the trolley, event that we had,
where adds to that.
But yeah, the thing is there was people, like 15 people there that experienced somebody that I counseled, and they watched. It was spirit, and I counseled them to help them make the decision that I don't need to be here anymore. You know, I wanted to go to college. I was in World War II, and I don't want to be here anymore. And I told them, yeah, you wanted to go to college. You served in the war. You made a difference. That's your college. And then all of a sudden, all the equipment that we had going, high, you know, readings and all that. As soon as I told them, you don't need to be here anymore. You served your college. The instrumentation went to zero. And people getting to experience that at, you know, one of the events that Charles and I do, that's what makes it so exciting.
Amazing.
That's what makes it fun and amazing. And you can't miss, because you never know what's going to happen. That's the thing with the paranormal. You never know what's going to happen, and you want to be there. You don't want to miss it, because if you miss it, you miss that profound experience that could change your life. And that's
Charles is the peanut butter to your fucking jelly, man. The things that he covers are the fun aspect of it. You go a little bit with the history side, not geeky, but I like that geek shit. You know me, a historian.
I'm a total nerd. I'm a total nerd with knowledge, so don't worry about that.
All right, Adam, I got my question for you.
Yeah.
Oh yes, that's right. Go ahead. Be gentle. Yeah. It's my first time.
Book of top 10 horror lists.
Yes.
If you were my celebrity, what would be your number one horror film in that book?
I already know what it's going to be.
Number one horror film, I got to go because it's the first one that turned me on to horror. You dig? Yes. I grew up in Lisbon, Maine. I went to the same high school as Stephen King. And my mom, my stepfather went hunting. We went to go kill some deer. It was 1987, right before my grandfather died. And I saw his ghost in my trailer. I was about 6. And that's no shit. Then I saw my first dead body at 15. My other grandfather died in front of me. Anyway, that's another story. So my mom was watching TV. I couldn't sleep. I get up, right? I'm like fucking 7 years old. And this time I've been watching Care Bears and fucking Transformers and Disney and Bambi bullshit. And my mom's watching, guess what? The original Stan Kubrick's The Shining. And I go, what's this? She goes, well, you're going to go to the same high school as the guy that wrote this book, Stephen King. This is called The Shining. I don't know if you're old enough to watch it. And about 7 years old, she let me watch it. The elevator scene with the 2 chicks and the blood and everything. I know it's cliche and it's fairly new, but The Shining's got to be number one because it really turned me on. And I said, holy fuck, I need more.
Yeah.
Well,
so I got to go with that.
Yeah. So of all the celebrities who gave their, top 10 list, Shining is number 3. The only ones above it are Psycho and The Exorcist. Right there. Look at that. I ain't lying. Number 3, The Shining.
What? Wow. They got my heart, man.
And listen to all the celebrities who you may or may not have heard of.
Number 1.
Yeah, here's who went with it. Original Beatles drummer Pete Best, country artist Tim Atwood, actor Corbin Burnson, Ruth Buzzy from Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In, actress Sybil Danning. Oh my God. I Will Survive singer Gloria Gaynor. Don Grady, one of the original Brady Bunch. Greg Hawkes from The Cars. Oh my God. Frank Jekyll from the
So wait a minute, Charles, real quick, before I continue, I want to mention a couple of movies. Before I do, you've actually talked to these people and they've given you their answer.
I've either talked to them or gotten it by email or by phone or by Zoom or whatever. They all gave me their list personally, sure. Yeah, it goes on.
What about you? What's your number one favorite? Is it Frankenstein? Oh, Bride of Frankenstein, you said, right?
Well, Bride of Frankenstein was my first,
She was pretty hot.
You'll always remember Elvira. You'll always remember your first, right? My all-time number 1 is The Exorcist.
Oh.
Yeah, that's my all-time.
Oh my God.
All right, Adam, you've talked to me a bazillion times. Let's see how good Adam is after smoking a joint and drinking beers. Do you remember what my favorite is?
Oh, well, give me a second. Give me 3 seconds.
I don't think he's going to get it.
It's give me a second.
Salem's
Lot.
Yes.
Salem's Lot with the vampire dude in the window.
Scared
dude, you know I got
get out of me when I was younger.
He said it scared him when he was 8 years old.
Yes. Oh my God. I watched that when it first came out, it was a
TV movie, right?
Yeah, but it was like two weeks. You
Yes,
know,
it
you had the
was.
first and then
Like
the
the original
second.
It
So you had to
was.
watch it. And I tell you, you know, I grew up, you know, I didn't have, my parents weren't wealthy or anything like that. You know, I lived in the same room as my brother. And, you know, I tell you,
Charles.
at night after sealing Salem's Lot.
Tombstone Paranormal. Sorry.
Yeah, the wind. Yeah, there you go, Jimmy. So, and then the wind would blow and hit the window, and I thought that kid was coming to get me. So I couldn't
He'd
sleep.
be outside. You open the curtain, there's a kid floating there with this.
Oh my God.
Come on, Thomas.
I know.
I think
wanted to bite my
but
neck.
You know what's funny? There's some people that are deathly afraid of every horror movie, and that's what I find reviving. I went to Iowa with Chris Sanders. We went a long time ago to go to the Axe Murder House, Vasilla, Iowa, and then Corona hit. Because we were in Ohio in the cornfield. We drove down. Took us fucking 22 hours straight.
Cornfield,
and,
Children of the Corn.
Iowa,
There's a little Malachi going on over there. Children of the Corn.
Malachi came out there.
Yeah.
You want to sell some lemonade? I said, "Fuck you,
Hell
Malachi."
yeah,
Booted him in the face.
Yeah.
Then he showed up. Then he showed up at the Warrens con that you guys were selling your
Yeah.
shit at. Malachi was right there, for Christ's sake.
And he's in a rock. He's in a rock band too. He gave me a CD, and I gave it to you, Adam.
You did. I got it right here.
Adam, I said, I knew Adam would appreciate that. There it is.
I got it in my collection.
Gaines, Malachi.
Yeah, I got it in my collection. He signed it. Yeah, it's number 93 of
nice.
I haven't even opened it. But real quick, just get back to your list. I'd say Exorcist is on there for me. I'm a big Jason Voorhees fan. I've met Kate Hodder. I met CJ Graham, a couple people. I love Halloween. I've actually had Sandy Johnson on my show. She was Mike Myers' first kill in the 1968 John Carpenter Halloween. She was also Miss Playboy in 1974. She blew me a kiss. I'm friends with her, Sandy Johnson. So that's dope. I met Rob Zombie. As you see his autograph there. So he's also directed some movies I love. But when it comes to horror movies, dude, on the way to Iowa, we got a hotel in Des Moines. I saw the grave of the drummer for Slipknot, one of my favorite metal bands. Wow. And I watched The Wolfman. I love The Wolfman. When the gypsies got the star in their hand in the woods and the little, Am I wrong?
Great stuff.
Man. Underrated. Very good
Adam,
horror movie.
Adam, I can't remember if I told you this story. You keep talking about Rob Zombie. Did I tell you one of my best friends, his wife was roommates with Rob Zombie's wife when they were in college. Rob Zombie, Rob Zombie had a house in Connecticut for quite a while. I think he sold the compound
in Connecticut
and all that. Yeah. So
birthplace of the hamburger. I've been to Louis Lunch, fucking the Bullfrog Bridge, Charles Rosenay. You guys have Benedict Arnold Day where you guys hang him through the streets. I've done a lot of info.
Yeah, that's down in Benedict Arnold was born in Connecticut.
Charles, you're like, no. Yes,
he was born in Connecticut. He helped us win a lot of stuff, but then he went to the British. He became a traitor. And the thing is a lot of these different cities of started in Philadelphia actually first, where they had, a fake, Benedict Arnold, they burned him in the street and all that. And the tradition happened. The tradition was going on all the way through the Civil War, but then it finally went away. But then it became a tradition again in like the early 2000s, I think it was, in, of course, the New London area and all that. And that's kind of where he was born.
Right, New London, Connecticut.
Because that's the thing is he burned down, a lot of that area. And I remember there was a woman who became a hero. I forget her name, but she was friendly with him before he converted over to the British. And she begged him not to burn her house down and her neighbors. So she saved half of that area because of that. So there's a lot of history with that.
Wow, she's a pioneer, so to speak.
Yeah, she is. She's a hero. And then, when the Battle of Ridgefield, where Benedict Arnold won that for us, until he converted over, but there's a tavern still in Ridgefield where there's a cannonball still embedded,
stuck in the wall
that you can go see.
Wow.
That's a lot of energy there. You're talking about wartime, And Charles and I have talked about this, and everybody always asks us what makes Connecticut so haunted. Hey, it's the bloodshed, it's the war, it's the civil, it's that Revolutionary War, it's that Civil War. It's we
the first
stole
state, really?
We stole so much land from the Indians. We built stuff over burial grounds and all that. We deal with this all the time. And in Connecticut, especially when I'm doing home investigations, things like that, dealing with a lot of this stuff, a lot of it's elemental Indian land. You don't know what you're dealing with. And I always tell people, have the right intention when you're dealing with the paranormal, because you can really screw stuff up, and that's why it's important. Like Charles and I do these events, and I teach people, be diligent, even when the Warrens, when I first got into this, because I met the Warrens way back when I was like 14, 15 years old. I learned about who I was. Yeah, I learned about who I was, but they always did these tours to warn people that this shit's real. Don't mess around with it, but if you're interested in it, go to the people that have been doing it for a while so you could do it the right way. And that's why we do these events, so you can learn from these people when they talk, like when we have the Paracon, people like yourself, Adam, and they talk about the history and people that have experienced it. You learn. And I think that's the most important thing that we do. We have fun, and we get to talk about weird stuff with all our friends, but we learn how to do this the right way, the right intention. That's
perfectly
important.
said. This fucking guy. I don't know if Thomas pre-writes this shit, but you could be a fucking poet and you didn't even know it. Like, because this is right above me, 45 minutes above me, Elephant Mountain, right at the beginning.
I'm texting him what to say.
Charles.
Well,
see, I like that.
Adam, I never know what I'm going to say. And I always tell people when I go on a podcast, what question do you want me to ask you? I says, you could ask any question you want. There's nothing in the paranormal that I might have an opinion on, but I always have the right, intention.
You know your shit. Thomas, you got time. Stick on me for a little bit. Charles, I believe, has got another prior engagement he's going to go to, so we're going to bid adieu to him. You stay on with me. Charles, this will be on my YouTube channel. I'm going to upload it tomorrow when I get out of work.
Charles is working on banker hours, man. Jesus.
I'm gonna tag you in it. Well, he's been on for an hour and a half here, so I'm gonna let you go. But before we go, let's plug you real quick. Where can people find your shit? Let's one more time plug it before you go.
Just wherever you are, right on the East Coast. Come to Paracon, July 20th.
Two ends.
Paracon 4. Right there's the website, www.paracon.org. Come and say hello to the three of us and all the great people who've been checking in throughout the night. They're all going to be there. We're all going to be there together. It's, Para Unity. It's Para Family. And looking forward to seeing everybody. Everything else we'll tell you about when you come to the show. But July 20th through the 21st at the Baldwin Center in Stratford, Connecticut. Stratford, which has the whole Shakespeare history behind it in Connecticut. That's
Saturday and Sunday, full days. I'm speaking very at the last minute Sunday, 5 o'clock. Stay right at the end. Watch me. Check out the Venice.
Best at the end.
Save the best for last. I'll be out there on stage telling jokes. I'll make sure I'm nice and stoned. Charles Rosenay, I'm going to mention this the next couple of weeks. Thank you for being a guest. I'll take you off right now. You got to go. You're a busy cat. Dude, seriously, I love you, brother. Thank you for your time.
All right, get out of here.
Bye, Charles.
Love you, brother.
All right.
Oh,
so, yeah, God. He went out early. He told me, let me get an hour. He's a busy fucking cat, but I can rap a little bit. I got a little bit of time.
Yeah, we all are. It's really getting down to the nitty gritty. I think July.
Full effect now.
Yeah, with July, with Charles and I, with the shaman and the showman, it's really busy season starts now. It starts.
I don't think it ever ends for you. I don't think it ends for us.
It doesn't.
I feel like if you're not planning for the next year or the next month,
you
really don't. I think taking, but why not? Right? Kids are grown.
You have to,
fun.
Yeah, my kids are all out of the house now. I think that's why I do so much stuff now because, I'm so comfortable that my kids are successful. They're doing what they want to do.
I don't see you in a dart league. I don't see you in a bowling league hanging out with the guys that are Dunkin' Donuts having a joke.
No, I can't.
Right? I mean,
yeah, I'm an 80-hour-a-week guy. You know, I have a normal job. I have a paranormal job.
Yeah.
And the thing is everything's important. You know, even with the paranormal, I just deep down, I just want everybody to learn what it's all about and not what it's not all about. And you know, Adam and I, you know, we have our little circle. We have our Salem 7 or whatever you want to call
Heather
it.
thinks the world of you. She goes, you know,
Yeah.
not many people respond back or ask me how I am, but you always tell me. Thomas asks, how's Heather? I go, him, Donnie, co-host Diego. You guys are the very few that actually ask how she's doing. And she respects that. And dude, you've been nothing but kind to us. You support, you share more shit than I do. I'm technically his booking agent. If you guys want Thomas Patrick Gormley, who's the Archangel of Paranormal, who does everything on TikTok. Like I said, he's doing TV shows. He's doing Paracons. You guys want him on your podcast? You want him to be at your event? Please message Historically Haunted Booking. We'll work something out in Thomas's favor. But Thomas, man, you spread yourself thin, but you keep going, brother.
I know. I really, you know.
Every Tuesday, you're right there, serial killer. Every Wednesday, every week. I love it. But I mean, obviously you're not great every day, but you get up and do it. That's hard.
Yeah, I expend a lot of energy, but I want to keep putting it out there. Keep putting it out there. And, you know, I'm not putting it out there as like TikTok, all that other stuff. I put it out there on that platform and people to learn. I don't care if I have one person watching, whatever.
I love it. I look forward to it. I get up on my
but that's all that matters, man. As long as you're having fun, I'm going to keep putting it out there.
Dude, people dig it. I share it on my TikTok. I share it on my Instagram. I share it wherever I can, Facebook.
I love it.
And I love learning facts. I go, the Frog Bridge, or learning about serial killers. And you're like, but that's not the crazy part. I'm like, here it comes.
We see Diego. On
TikTok, follow him. TikTok, Thomas Patrick Gormley. Every Tuesday morning cereals, a little bowl of cereal. It's on Facebook too, but follow him on TikTok. I love that. I pay attention to the details. And then, of course, Tuesdays is your Strange Facts Connecticut, and Wednesdays is behind the meaning of some odd meaning. Like,
for the phrase or word origin.
That's a lot of research every week, just for shits and giggles. That's
just this week I did, you know, the word wake. Yeah. When somebody dies, you know, you have a wake. But a lot of people don't realize is that the wake originated, it's like a Celtic thing where the family in the village would watch over the body to make sure they're actually dead. Because the reason why they had to do that is back in the day, there was lead cups. And that's how they drank their whiskey and their beer. And because of that combination, people drink so much they pass out. And they look like they're dead for like 2 days. You know, I love this guy. Co-host Diego's the best. And they look like they're dead for 2 days, and they wanted to make sure, are they fucking drunk? Or are they dead? There you go. There's the shirt. So they had to wait. They waited to see if they're going to wake up. If they didn't wake up, then go ahead, bury them, you know. But that was the thing.
Fucking God, are you serious? So a wake literally to see if they would wake up because they didn't embalm them back then. They
they called it a wake. Hey, you gonna wake up or are you actually dead?
Shut the front door.
Did you drink too much beer and whiskey in a fucking lead fucking cup? Yeah.
Do a shot with me. Do a sip. You got some left.
Oh yeah, I got a little left.
I love you, man. You helped me out when I was down and I needed a couple bucks to get by, not trying to flag my dirty laundry, but I need someone, the closest friend I got, and you helped me out. Also, you're signed for the next 2 years.
Yeah. I'm always there for you, you know.
Bed and breakfast when I come to Connecticut, Salem. Yeah. You know I'm going to get you to Maine when Donnie comes. I'd love you to be at my table in Bangor. And
oh my God. I love
take my tour.
Yeah, I love that. And Donnie is such a good dude. And all that.
Dude, he thinks you're fucking amazing. He wants to come on the show and he wants you to be co-host. So we're gonna plan that out. And we'll get him to Salem Paracon. I'm thinking not to spoil anything, but we're gonna try to get Donnie in the red Rinko truck used to kill Gage in the movie.
I know that was so good, because there's so much stuff happening for Salem Paracon.
Dude, you guys don't realize middle of Salem is going to be 60 to 80,000 people.
It's going to be crazy
it's the
because
capital of October in the world.
Because Charles and I have been talking, and I'm not going to say, but
dude,
just like we were having in Maine, the anniversary of Pet Cemetery, we might have an anniversary.
Thank you.
Too, but I won't tell you. We don't know. I'm not gonna say anything.
Have you been to the Witch Museum or any of that shit?
I've been to everything.
You have.
You got to know something, between, my significant other and I, she has this big attachment growing up to Cape Cod, Provincetown, and all that. I love that. Such great energy. But for me, I've spent a lot of time in Salem. So for her, her place is P-Town, and for me, my piece is Salem. Anytime
she's got the south, Salem, you got the north.
Yeah, I'm so at peace with that. There's such an attachment. I don't know what my connection is, and I still, as being an empath and picking up on energy, every time I'm there, I feel an attachment. I don't know if there's ancestral connection or anything like that. I doubt it. But, I've told you before, I do have Native American background.
Bloodline.
Yeah, bloodline. I have a bloodline there. I have, after doing the 23andMe, but I've always felt it. My mother always talked about it.
Thomas, how long have you had a spiritual connection? How long have you realized I'm different?
Very young. Growing up, being an empath, feeling energies, and I just thought I was freaking weird. I could go.
Well, you are.
Well, yeah, I know. I'm the glorious weirdo.
I love you though, man. I'm weird too.
Exactly. That's why we talk about this stuff. You got to. And I think that's why I connect with so many of the people that are chiming in right now. Just, Danny, Lauren, Nate, you, Heather, our group, our little circle that we hold so dear and all that. And
how do you, I got to ask you a question, and maybe this is personal. If you don't have to answer if you don't want to.
No.
But how do you, especially being a serial killer diagnosis, do you actually, you must have profiles on me and Nate and all of us. Do you look to see traits? Do you do that just out of habit? You must.
I do it out of habit, but for me to be attached to you guys.
Not personal, but just.
Well, no. For me to be
you got to cover your ass, man.
Well, it is. For me to be so connected to you guys means that in spirit, I love you guys. I know that you're the real deal and all that.
You can sense that.
I don't, my walls don't come down very often. And for us, when we're together, when we were in that Salem 7 and we're sitting in there and we're just talking about life, and even to that point, even with Nate and all that, I'm always.
You got a charcuterie board. Danny's got fucking absinthe going off fucking sugar cubes. We're living like Jimi Hendrix, and we're sleeping in Marblehead, Massachusetts, which is part of Salem. Yeah. And we just gelled. For people that have never really hung out or met, we just kind of chilled, right? I mean,
yeah, but the thing is,
that's a good connection.
But we are connected. There's no such thing as a coincidence. We came together as friends and like-minded people, and again, we're going at it again. Salem's coming up again, and we're all together again in a Airbnb. This time it's in Ipswich, Massachusetts. Because I want to let
I'll have money for you.
Yeah, but I want to let people know that some of the people are concerned that they can't find a place, it's too expensive. Don't worry about it, my friends. Go on an Airbnb, whatever you got to do. Even if you have to be 45 minutes, an hour away, that's nothing. Yes, the family. Because I love those guys. In this year, it's not absent this year because Danny and I talked earlier. They uncovered a whole bunch of bottles of cherries that were fermenting at George Washington's Mount Vernon,
Vermont.
Mount Vernon, Virginia.
All right, Connecticut.
Well, they found all these bottles that were fermenting these cherries, and Martha Washington had this favorite drink, and Danny and I talked earlier. Danny's actually fermenting these cherries right now because it takes 3 months. By the time they're fermented, it's going to be time for Salem. So we might be doing something a little different with a little drink from the past. So
alcohol comes from cherries?
Oh, yeah. We're going to be doing that, and it's going to be amazing. Because
dude, where have you been my whole life? There
he is, Danny, the cherry bounce. There it is. Look it up.
So it's history with alcohol and friendship that'll bond us, dude.
Yeah,
I fucking love you guys.
That's what we do.
You guys are better friends than that. I have more friends in the paranormal field than I do in real life. Yeah. Between people in the actors like Donnie, like you have my personal cell phone. We text, we call. Yeah. Raph, Donnie, Danny, obviously Heather. I mean, it's the group of people. Lauren, and Jim Brown. Man, I tell you, man, we're some sick fucks, but at the same time, there's a lot of us sick fucks. And I think we get along, Thomas. Am I right? I mean, you know these people. Dude, everybody coming to Connecticut and Salem that we can't mention some of them. We can mention a lot of them, but right now, you're down with all of them. You're in. Yeah. You got big things coming yourself aside from that, though. Can we talk about that?
Well, yeah, that's the thing with me. I'm going to tell people I've got involved in the paranormal, and I think being a healer and things like that and having a calling, the one thing about me you'll never find, I have no ego when it comes to this, because I firmly believe that anything I could do to help people, but the people that have ego, they're so far away from spirit. And I think it's so important. You know, people like us talking right now, Danny and Lauren, being able.
You've talked to people on the edge of suicide. Yeah. You've talked to friends and family that have been scared shitless, pardon my language.
Yeah.
You do that and you don't get paid, Tom. You got to work 9 to 5. You do your thing with your wife, but you do it.
No, I don't. I've done it. You know, I got so much stuff coming up, but we do have friends that have had issues, and I'm always there for them no matter what time of the day it is. And I will fiercely protect my circle, my friends, and all that. And they know that. And
you got no reason to. I think that's hard for people lately.
But it is a small circle.
But then I get Tommy's texting me, how are you? How are Heather? How things going? You got my thoughts and prayers. I'm like, this is fucking good. Let me fucking send you some money, and I'm booked till next year. So you and Raph are the only clients I have booked till 2025.
Yeah.
So that's
I tell you, I love Raph. When it's funny.
He loves sharing your shit. You guys are big fans down the rabbit with the rabbit, throw the chick down the hole.
Oh my God. Raph is so good. But the thing is he's
have you met him in person yet?
No, I haven't, and
me either.
Oh my God, I so want to meet him so bad. I want to get him up to one of our events. But the thing is I love the dude. This guy,
he's still
being on his podcast. I've been on his podcast twice. Once alone, and then once with you, Adam, where we talked about the Bigfoot murder guy. And I mean, that episode is blowing up. It's almost like close to 2,000 views already. It's amazing.
So real quick, Tom, when I go to the Connecticut Con with you, I'm going to have a shit ton of stickers Raph sent me to hand out to people.
Oh, my God. I love it.
And I got business cards, but I also, Thomas, I have you here while you recorded, so you can't deny it. I'd love to have more business cards or stickers of you. So when I'm with Donnie in Bangor, if you can't make it, I can pass them out. I plan on sharing them. All my clients historically have to book an LLC. All of you are going to get talked about when I talk about Donnie, the truck, Vico, Hughes, the parents are all going to be there in Bangor. Hopefully, Thomas is. You can sit with us, dude. Donnie would love you to have you come. You do.
I know. I love
come to me, take the tour, sit on the truck, for Christ's sake.
Oh my God, it'd be so good.
Sleep on my couch, Thomas. I won't touch you in your sleep. I promise.
Well, my couch is still available to you there, my friend, when you come up here. So
I might have to take you for that. If I come down Saturday, I might need a place to stay. I might spend $150 for a fucking hotel.
Yeah, I don't want you to pay for a hotel.
I won't smoke weed in your house. I won't do anything stupid.
No, you don't need to. We're gonna go on the back porch. We'll have I have my fire pit. We'll sit.
Awesome. I would appreciate that. And honestly, Donnie might come with me. I know Thomas, or I know Charles doesn't want really to have him as a person, but if he comes as my guest, you guys aren't going to kick him out. He sits with me. We don't got pictures.
No, but it just makes it even better. You know,
it's a surprise.
It makes it even better. I know it's like last minute.
He loves you.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he tuned in. He thinks he's a Thomas Patrick. He goes, he's a serial killer, not. I go, man. I got to bring him to the Boston Strangler's grave in Peabody next time for Salem Con. I think we got to go. So, Thomas, when you come in, take me tour.
The Salvo?
Oh, I'm in the Salvo, the Italian. When you come in to take my tour, my brother, I got to show you my tour.
Oh, my God. You know, like I tell you, I have a normal job and a paranormal job.
And your wife and your kids. Have you been to Maine yet? I forget.
Oh, I've been to Maine so many times. My ex-wife.
Don't bullshit me, really?
No. My ex-wife, speaking of 4th of July coming up tomorrow, we used to go.
Happy Independence Day,
everybody. That was our vacation every year where I go up with my ex-wife. We go up. All her family was from Portage Lake, Maine, which is kind of close to Eagle Lake.
Oh, okay.
That Route 11, you're going up toward Presque Isle, stuff like that. So you're up there near Canada where the red truck is, you know, that.
Yeah, Curlis, a tombstone every mile.
Yep. And it's crazy because you drive up there. We used to drive up early, and we get up there early, and it's foggy sometimes, and you have to drive slow because you don't want to hit the bull moose.
Dude, you know your shit.
Yeah.
Shit, Tom.
So we would go up there, and I mean, I had so much fun up there because we had these big. They would have like a pig roast. They'd bury the pig under the ground and heat it up and all that.
And shit underneath.
Oh my God, it was so good. I mean, all her family were woodsmen. You know, they worked out in the woods. They worked in the factories that, you know, cut the wood up so people could build houses and make stuff, whatever. It's big up there, you know. And then the replanting, you know, you cut a tree down, you got to replant. So that way you could keep your business going. So a lot of people don't know that is if you're going to cut something down, make sure you replant no matter what it is. Replant.
Bangor was the Queen City of America. It's the lumberjack capital of the world at one point, the birthplace of Paul Bunyan.
Yeah.
And of course, Stephen King now. But I can show you everything from the storm drain that inspired Pennywise. That's on Jackson Street in both its. To the everything is House All Night. And I'd love to show you where Al Brady was shot in 1936. Yeah. After Dillinger died, he was America's Most Wanted. J. Edgar Hoover and the Boston FBI came up and shot him in the streets. And the place he came out of, Dakin Sporting Goods, where he ordered a Tommy gun. That's what set him off. They come back in a week, and they called the FBI. It's a bookstore now called the Briar Patch, and I bought Stephen King's Dreamcatcher there. So I'll bring you there. There's a little brick in the road that says Al Brady, America's Most Wanted, was shot and killed here. And I know where he's buried in Mount Hope, where Stephen King put the Reverend. You know about that shit. Thomas, we'll grab a couple more minutes out of you.
Well, you're talking about Brady and all that, and Public Enemy #1, right? Dillinger,
he's buried in the Jewish section in Mount Hope, which is America's second oldest garden cemetery. Hannibal Hamlin's buried there.
Yeah,
America's first Republican vice president underneath Abraham Lincoln. He died playing poker.
Yeah.
His couch is on display at the Bangor Library. I can bring you there.
Yeah, I know you show Lauren that because she's a big Abraham Lincoln fan. But,
she loves Abe.
Oh my God, yeah, great president. But the thing
I
is,
think so.
You got to realize something. The Public Enemy #1, that moniker, I talked about it a few weeks ago.
You did.
And the thing is I don't know why I had a few. I've been working all day, but escapes my mind. But there was a guy, he was a mafia type guy. He was just a thief. He would go and break into stuff. And started out in New York, but he went on a rampage in Connecticut. And he was in New Britain, Connecticut, which is, I could throw a stone into Britain where I live. And he broke into this store with his partner. As they were coming out, there was a police officer that spotted him. And gunfire happened, and these people shot and killed this police officer. So, and they escaped, and that guy that shot him, the criminal, became the first ever person to be called Public Enemy #1, and that was in Connecticut. So that's your weird spooky facts. Connecticut, just a refresh. Go back and see it on my TikTok, my Facebook.
That was about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. And it's crazy. That's crazy history. And I'm always trying to find something. Oh, yeah. I'm always trying to find something different. So I have to do one for tomorrow. So I don't know what I'm going to do. Do you have anything you know about Connecticut I could do?
Wasn't there a station in Connecticut on a hill that literally 3 hours or 2 hours or like even an hour before the Betty and Barney Hill got abducted by the aliens, that a base on the hill in Connecticut reported seeing a UFO? Then like an hour later, Betty and Barney Hill. Yeah. I know that's a close one.
I know it's crazy because a lot of people don't know is the first ever running FM station. You know, yet AM stations and all that, but the signal in the first running ever FM station was actually here in Connecticut. So, and it's still running today. I forget what the call out is for that station, but it was like one of the first FM stations. So yeah.
The last remaining, which it's not in use anymore, it's still there. The public street light. It's in Atlas Obscura. It's a man-made red light. Is in Connecticut. Me and Heather went there. It's in the same place with a. You know about that? It's like a little white box on stilts.
Yeah. Can I tell you something really crazy?
Now.
I'll probably talk about it, but it's so long and I'm still contemplating. Should I do this on Weird Spooky Facts Connecticut? But it's so long because there's so much history behind it.
What?
There was a guy, I think his name was, I don't know if it's Horace Wells. He was a dentist in Hartford. And he was the first one to use, anesthesia.
No shit.
Laughing gas. It was in Hartford, Connecticut. And the thing is he wanted to demonstrate what he was finding out to help people removing teeth so there wasn't any pain. So he went up to Boston at the school that he learned at. But the thing was, at the time, he didn't understand that he needed to use more anesthesia for people that are a little more obese or things like that. So it kind of failed on him. And people kind of like laughed at him. And back in the day, it was like, yeah, he's a bah humbug, just like, just like, A Christmas Carol and stuff like that. But he became so upset about this that psychological things started happening to him because he did so much work into this. And he was like, oh my God, I embarrassed myself. And his dentist practice opened and closed over 7 times. Then he finally closed, and he kept trying stuff like ether and all these other things to try and make up. Yeah, to try and make up and figure out where he went wrong. And the unfortunate part was he left his family, his wife and his son, abandoned them in Connecticut, went to New York. And he was doing all this ether and all that. It was almost like a drug. He was trying all this stuff because he was so desperate to prove himself that he was right. Of course, later on, they proved that he was the first one to do anesthesia. But the thing was he did this so much that there was one point it was so inundated with this ether and stuff like that. He went out into the streets of New York. He threw acid on these prostitutes and all this. And he didn't know what he was doing. And they ended up arresting him. And when he came off all the medication, realizing what he did, he felt so bad that he asked him, I need to shave. And they brought him to shave, and he committed suicide right there.
He slit his wrist.
Yeah, he committed suicide. In this story, let's put it in the folklore because it isn't proven. But he was a doctor. He tried medications, and it made him either fine or crazy.
Wow.
And the thing was they think that because of this story made it into the papers, that the guy that wrote Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde picked up on this story, and that was the inspiration of it. Right?
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, yeah.
That's a future episode.
There he is, Gerald Chapman. Danny got on the, because they told me that, I'm 53 freaking years old, and You know, sometimes I can't remember stuff, but yeah, Gerald Chapman
Did you
was.
say you're 53?
Yeah, the mob guy, Gerald Chapman, was the one that.
No way.
You're Britain first, Public Enemy #1. Yeah.
I thought you were like 48.
I wish.
I'm 44. I'm gonna be 45 in September.
Yeah. I'm an old.
I tell you, once you hit fucking 30, time goes quick. It's like, wow.
It does. You know, it's funny. I always tell people all the time, when I was really young, it seemed like summer went on forever before school came back again. And now it's like, all right, it's July. It's 4th of July tomorrow, for crying out loud. And I'm like, where the hell did the time go? You know? I don't know. Brandon said he's 45. So.
Oh, Brandon, you still there, brother? This fucking guy sends me like $45 a month. I appreciate you guys sending those stars. You guys like
he's 45, giving you $45 a month with stars. That's crazy.
Dude, he sends me $12, 1,200 stars a week, which is $12.
Yeah.
Times 4. I told him, I said, dude, you're part of the booking agency.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
You sent me like $500 in the past 6 months. So you're part of, I'm representing Viper, VIPR Paranormal, Virginia Paranormal. I want to get something in Maine with all my clients together. I'd love to see you here in Bangor, dude. Thomas, you'd be welcome to sit with me and Donnie. Donnie would love you.
He's such a good guy. Yeah.
So before we go, where can people find Thomas Patrick Gormley? What do you associate with? Name everything. Paracon, TV show. What do you got for me, brother?
I don't know. I tell people all the time, I don't want to be found. I want to be private. I don't want anybody to bother me. Yeah. But, you know, TikTok, Archangel the Paranormal, also the same on Instagram. Facebook is Thomas Patrick Gormley. I pretty much share all kind of the similar stuff. You know, all the stuff Charles and I do that we talked about tonight. I'm also on Dark Echoes Paranormal. I'm a feature investigator now, as of season 2. But I did film 2 episodes of season 1 that haven't aired yet. But I'll keep you guys updated on that. But even though I haven't been on,
Scott Allen from Talk Live with Scott Allen.
Yeah,
another one of my clients is Thomas.
Exactly. But even though I haven't been on yet, make sure you go on Paraflix, Amazon Prime, watch all the episodes that have come out already. Matt, the crew there, do such a great job. It's paranormal, as real as you're going to get. It's raw, it's real, unscripted. That's what makes it so awesome. That's the only reason why I signed on to be on it, because I don't like people making up stuff just to get views and things like that. Let's do the real stuff. Let's make sure people know what's really going on, to learn and to enjoy the paranormal for what it really is.
Like you, like Lauren, like Danny, like Charles, like Brandon, like me, like Heather.
Yeah.
Hey, Thomas Patrick Gormley, Archangel of the Paranormal, Glorious Weirdo. If people want to book you for a convention or some sort of anything, a radio show, pod show, a podcast, where can they message? Would it be Historical Haunted Booking LLC? Yeah,
they could call Adam. Make sure they call Adam. Anything with that, reach out either way. You know, Adam, I know will always get back to you. Always get back to me.
Thomas has got a family. He's got a life. He works. So instead of messaging him, clogging up his messaging with all his TV shows, message me or Historically Haunted Booking if you want Thomas on your podcast, your radio show, for an event, convention. He will be in Connecticut. He will be in Salem. He will be in Bangor. He will be in Connecticut again for the Witchcraft Show in August.
Yeah. August 10th and 11th, the Connecticut Witch Trials. But I want people to know they use the word absolved. Absolved could mean jack. All right. I want people to know that when you come to this event, it's very important that you support this event for what it is. There are people nowadays that practice witchcraft that get a hard time also. But even back in the day, these people didn't even practice witchcraft. They were accused of it. It's the same type of pressure that's put on them and all that. Those people back then were put to death for nothing. And we need to let people know that that can't keep happening anymore. It happens all the time. Even now, we're on social media and people like, I don't like that person. I'm going to cancel.
Thomas, people like you
Yeah, you can't do that.
No offense, but a serial killer fascination and when the witchcraft and with the history, they'd be like, look at this fucking guy. He really is a weirdo. But you know what? Look at me. Adam the ghost hunter. Where does he go to graveyards? But I think we keep things alive that should be alive. And I think we treat the areas it should be. Am I wrong?
Yeah, no, you're not, because people deserve to be accepted. We're all doing it. Doesn't matter what it is. You know, you deserve to be accepted. You deserve to be loved and all that. And for people to be against that, I think it's more of fear and hate. We need to take fear out of it. That's what the paranormal is about. Most paranormal
that's why we're teaching people
because of fear. Yeah, we have to teach people, and that's what's important about Paracon. That's what's important about the Connecticut Witch Trials Festival. Whether I know there's going to be witches there, some people say, "Well, I don't want them there. I don't want people to think my ancestors." No, that's not what it's about. They're being pushed against just like your ancestors were pushed against. We need to bring it all together and know that we have love here, and love always conquers all. And we want people to know that. And also, people need to heal. There's so much trauma out there nowadays, even in our country.
Oh, man.
I think people, once they recognize and put a name to their trauma, I think there's going to be a lot more peace. And that's my whole frame of
unity.
mind.
We need unity.
It is.
Who cares? Black, white, gay, straight, white, Indian. As long as you're decent, man, let's unite.
But that's the thing is it is. And when I come into this, what we do, I have no ego because I want to be in touch with spirit. And I want people to know that you can't hate, you can't have negative and all that. You're going to be so far away from where you want to be. And that's how we heal. We have to recognize, put a name to what's keeping us from spirit, put a name to it, have control over it. And I think we're going to get to where we need to be. So,
Thomas Patrick Gormley, you can meet him. You can meet me, Charles Rosenay. You can meet us all.
Oh, yeah.
At the end of the month.
Thomas,
I'll let you co-host in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Even next week. I love talking to you. I have Christopher Brown on next week. Second meeting.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Well, maybe I'll have you on. I know you work late. But that'll be back on Thursdays, historians. Happy 4th of July. Happy Independence Day. Thomas, this will be up on YouTube tomorrow. I appreciate your time as always, my brother.
Yeah. And just so people know, with the 4th of July, when you light it, throw it. Don't hold on to it. Run away as far as you can. So, all right.
Make sure you have all your fingers by the end of the weekend.
Yeah. We want you to have all your fingers. And we want you to
Glorious Weirdo, Archangel of Paranormal, Thomas Patrick Gormley, Paracon, CONN, Paracon, Salem Paracon, Adam the Historian Ghost Hunter, Historically on the Vodcast. I got pretzels in my mouth. Thank you guys for watching. Almost 2 hours. Killer. We love you guys. Charles Rosenay, you're the fucking man. Connecticut Con in Stratford, Connecticut in 3 weeks at the Baldwin Center. Stratford, Connecticut. See me, see Charles. Get a group picture with us for only $35. We'll split it.
Yeah.
See you next time. See you next week.